Hi everybody, I'm Dave.
And I'm Shali,
and this is GottaSing.com.
Your vocal online resource for a better voice.
Okay, today our singer is Kirsten. Kirsten, come on over. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
She's a little bit nervous. Okay, good. So, what can we help you change about your voice?
Well, I would like to get a stronger breath management. I'd like to be able to hold notes out for longer and stronger.
Okay, great. It's kind of that, it's like the Barbra Streisand, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, all those big belters that can really hold those notes forever. We all want to be able to do that. And there's a technique to doing that. But let's talk first about breath. Now, first I have to ask, how old are you?
I'm 30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You look really good. All right, she's 30, you look great.
Thank
You've had children, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so breathing for women is a little bit different from men. I'm going to let Shali address that a little bit. I'm just going to talk about the musculature really fast, and then we'll let Shali take over on that. Okay. In between your ribs are muscles called the intercostals. Okay, now you've looked at the DVDs, right?
Yes.
And worked with the DVDs. Okay, good. There is some animation in there that describes exactly what they are. The intercostals are muscles in between the ribs, and they're responsible for expanding and decreasing the space in the ribs as you breathe in and breathe out. Okay? Those muscles for singers are super important because we have to open the ribs, hold them open while we sing. You can't let them collapse every time, like you would do in your sleep. When you're sleeping, you go, we go in and out. When you sing, you have to hold up and then keep it there.
Right.
All right? And the breath has to go low in the belly. So.
Right. If you watch a baby breathe, they breathe so naturally because their little bellies rise and fall.
They're not so worried about being skinny.
Yeah, we forget over time. Either we've gotten into dance and we hold everything still and don't let them see you sweat, or we hold it in. One time I went to a pool and watched a man pull it in while he walked past some girls and he immediately let it out.
Exactly.
So we know that you're capable of expanding.
Yes.
Sometimes there is an issue with being a thin person. They don't have a lot to expand, so it is something they have to work on. So, first of all, what we're going to work on is when we breathe. If you breathe too high, too low, or just not enough or too much, it's not effective breath management. So you have to learn to manage the breath, and that's why she said something about breath management. So, if you're breathing too high, that tends to be the breath that we use when we just ran a marathon and we can't get anything deeper. Okay?
Or when you're nervous before you have to perform. That's what happens. We go.
So your
And
breath
Kirsten actually is a
disappears.
professional actor, singer,
Right.
dancer. Yeah, so she does this on stage.
Right. So we encourage that people learn how to use the lower portion of the abdomen for bringing in breath. Now, people say sing from the diaphragm. That's kind of a misnomer. The diaphragm is an involuntary muscle that when you've got expansion of the lungs, it just naturally pulls down. Now, if you're getting all your guts out of the way for that muscle to be able to pull down, guess what? You get a deeper breath, it's lower in the cavity, and it fills up the entire abdomen. So for having more breath to use and to be able to manage, you do have to loosen the muscles within the lower abdomen. You have to allow that diaphragm to pull down as a natural phenomenon of opening up the lungs and the ribs and moving the guts out of the way. Basically.
That's why the belly goes up. The
Yeah,
guts
that's
move
why
out of the way.
the guts are moving out of the way.
Yeah.
So let's just do that right now. Let's just have you breathe in a deep, deep breath, allowing that belly to expand. And blow it out. See if you can keep it. Yeah, let's just let it go back in. Now breathe out, or breathe in. And out again. See how the abdomen moves? Now, a singer has a different set of responsibilities. When they sing, they want to be able to have a longer line to be able to sing. So in order to do that, you have to keep everything open. So as soon as you bring in that air, you expand the ribs, and then you manage the breath by slowly allowing the abdomen to come in. Now, I like to liken it after you've figured out how that mechanism works. The more advanced or the intermediate singer will think of filling up the entire barrel. And it's not just the front. You've got to think also about your back area because your intercostals are also between the ribs in the back.
In the back.
So this time I want you to think about breathing in, but also expanding those ribs as big as you can. And then when you blow out, this time don't let anything collapse until it absolutely has to. Because it will. It has to at some point. Okay. All right? So breathe in. Everything. Now keep it all open as you blow out. And tell me when it absolutely collapses. See, now it's happening. Now it's happening. So it's
We might want to
about
try that from the
learning
side. Can we try that from the
Yeah,
side
that's
so
a
that
good
they
thing.
can see on camera?
That's a
Good.
good thing. So
Okay,
good
yeah. Shoulders
posture.
could be back just a tad. Open those ribs up just a little bit more.
All right, breathe
Now
in.
watch this area right here. That's where we're working.
And opening up those ribs. So breathe in and blow it out forcefully. And now it's beginning to collapse. That's important for a singer. The longer you have these ribs and that abdomen expanded, the more breath you'll have to manage. Now, if you get too much and you have a short line, guess what? It's ineffective as well. So you have to learn to know how much breath to use for each line. That's why you practice and practice until you have the right amounts for each line. Okay?
Now, I do have a question.
Yes.
Because those are muscles in your ribs, I've noticed that when I first started, they really hurt when I would do it. So it's kind of a matter of practice, right?
Right.
Just doing it more and
It's
more.
just
so
like
you
going to
build
the
that
gym
muscle.
and doing your squats, and then you're
Right.
like, oh, I can't walk the next
Yeah.
day. But eventually, those squats don't get quite as painful, so you have to add a new exercise.
I find myself walking around just during the day, just holding my ribs up, just because now it's such a habit for me to hold the ribs up. I always say it's like holding your ribs up off the diaphragm. It's
Right.
like you lift them
Right.
just a tad, and then the breath can go right down there. So it's really about keeping this open and then letting this expand.
Now, posture has a lot to do with this. If she was, I want you to just slouch. Now, try to take a huge breath in. It's nearly impossible because you're collapsed here. There's nowhere for those ribs to move. Now, what if you've got an arched back? Try to do that. It's ineffective. And so you have to find a really comfortable stance. And a lot of people have different feet positions that are comfortable for them. You don't want to lock your knees. But you want to allow your hips to be just slightly under, not overextended, not hyper under, hyper out. But you want it slightly under, and you want that chest or that sternum be pointing up to the ceiling. So right here, not overextended, but just relaxed. Arms, one way I do it is I bring my arms up, bring my arms out, slightly rotate the wrists, and let my shoulders drop right there. So
Let's try that one. Try that one because that holds the ribs up nice and tall.
Try that first. So arms up in a belly.
All the way up.
Okay. Now have them come out to the side. Now just slightly rotate your wrists and let them drop to the side. That's
Oh.
a good position.
Very nice. And then you can let that breath
Really
just go
good position.
bam right out
Now
there.
take the breath in.
Yeah, look at how much I expanded. We cannot think skinny when you're singing. You've got to let that come out. We can't be vain. You've got to open it up so you get enough air. Okay,
Alright.
we are going to
Good job.
keep Kirsten for another lesson. We'll do another one. But if in the DVDs, if you go to DVD 1, lesson 2 is about breath management. Have a couple rolls of toilet paper because we teach you how to keep the ribs open with those rolls of toilet paper underneath the arm.
Right.
All right? It's not for any other reason, just for under the
Or
arms.
tennis
All right?
balls or socks or something like that.
All right, great. So thanks for being here, Kirsten, and thanks for
Thank you.
listening to GodSing.com.
And remember, technique is so important to healthy singing, and if you have any issues or things you'd like to change about your voice, let us know.
See ya.
My time to sing.